got a call from this gentleman who used to work for me a couple of years ago. I was a bit taken aback because I had not spoken to him for quite a while. He asked if we could meet for lunch, and I said yes, even though I was surprised. Halfway through lunch, he tells me he was getting married. After all the congratulations and asking all the questions that people usually ask, like who is she, where is she from, and all of that. And he turns to me and he says he would like my advice on marriage and going forward. You see, as an African, our parents and elders in general, sometimes they never really gave you advice directly, or sometimes they never even spoke to you directly. They never tell you do this or don't do this. They usually use proverbs. They will tell you something, and it is left for you to deduce from the proverb what the advice was. In this case, I didn't have a proverb for him. All I could say to him was something that our elders say to us whenever we come up with the topic of getting married. And that is that he should go and spend time with his girlfriend's family and see how her mother treats her father. Because at the end of the day, that is exactly how she would treat him. It works both ways as well. Even for ladies, if you want to get married, you should, observe your boyfriend's father and watch the dynamics in the family. Because at the end of the day, that is what you're going to get. For the most part, I believe that is very correct. In my dating life, I learned this the hard way. I actually met someone who told me that they did not believe in the idea of marriage, that they had never seen any two people married and happy. I didn't believe her. You see, I come from two parents who were really, really in love with each other. My parents were incredibly close. Every single one of us, when we're startled, surprised, or shocked, maybe out of fear or whatever, we usually say something. Some people call whatever deity they believed in. Some people use some swear words, whatever it is. We all have our go-to response at times like that. My mother's was to call my father's name. She didn't call God or anything. She called his name. At times like that, to her, he was her savior. That was how close they were. I never heard my parents raise their voice to each other. I mean, there were times when we knew that things were not so good between them, and we'll hear them talking in their bedroom in hushed tones, never yelling, never screaming. That was my experience growing up. And the idea or the thought that someone would not want that was very strange to me. Instead of listening to her, in a way, I kind of took it upon myself to show her that there was another way. And that was really very wrong, because usually when people show you who they are or tell you who they are, you should believe them. And I think in so many ways, it goes to my thinking process at the time, or lack thereof, if I may say that. When someone tells you something like that, you should really take them very seriously. It is absolutely possible to come from an unpleasant situation, educate ourselves, and go on to be much better and do much better and live a life that is so different from the one we grew up in. It is very, very important for us to listen, and I mean really listen, when our partner talks about things like this, because whether we like it or not, these are the things that have shaped who they are. We all default to what we have seen and heard growing up. Our success or failure in life is heavily dependent on who we spend our life with, who we get married to. I would even dare to say it is practically the most important factor in how successful we are in life. Sometimes the energy involved in bridging such huge gaps between people that come from very, very different backgrounds is so much that it leaves very little room for anything else. The last time I spoke with the gentleman, he told me he was traveling to Austin to spend a week with his future in-laws, and I was really happy and I wished him the best. These conversations are extremely important. These things should never be overlooked, but I'm really curious to know what you think. Leave your comments below. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.